My people were biologically determined for one purpose alone.
Sorry for that. Oh, it's exciting. It's a new season of a podcast that maybe you've listened to. Hey, with a new name or not. Hey, welcome to Star Trek Resignation. We're going back to the old me. We're doing Star Trek Discovery, Discovery Home Companion, or Disco Home, or whatever we're calling this one.
Disco Inferno was thrown out at one point.
It was.
I think. Yeah, I don't know if like that's the title, but we might have a Disco Inferno theme song coming.
Right. Yeah, we got lucky with Picard and Lower Decks, where we just found titles that just also happened to map to specific songs.
Right, and Discovery Home Companion was the name that we came up way back before I even brought you guys on.
Oh yeah.
When it was just me and James and Hugh.
Back when a Prairie Home Companion wasn't problematic.
Yeah, it was before that got canceled.
Yeah.
I've experienced the reboot of that show. I went to what it's called Live from Here now. So I guess we should.
Oh, did you go to one of those?
Yeah, they did a show in New York. This is like 2 or 3 years ago now.
It was like the Old Crow medicine guy took over for Garrison Keillor. But that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast, we're talking about...
Jim Broadbent just joined us.
Oh, yeah. I got a little bit of mush mouth here. But, my name is Wade Bowen, as you may recognize. And you may recognize these other two gentlemen over here. We have Sean Parada.
Hey.
And Glenn Hall.
I'm back.
He's back. Where'd you go?
Nowhere. I've been here the whole time.
We're back. I was gonna say, based on my future behavior on this call, you can call me the Jeff Toobin of.
Oh God! Please don't.
Oh, okay.
Please don't.
Of Disco Home Companion.
Which, by 2020 terms, dates this call, because in 2020 something can be dated if it's referencing something that happened a week ago.
I know. Tomorrow everyone will forget Toobin.
I mean, if anybody was going to be Toobin, I'm sitting here hiding from my not wife and child in the bathroom with the computer staring at me on the toilet.
You're the best candidate for a Toobin.
Toobin, yeah. They could just slip out.
Oh God!
There you go.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry for bringing it blue immediately. I apologize.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's good to have you back, Sean, even though you didn't go anywhere.
Good to be back.
Right. Just a little bit of light humor, which is also something we got in Discovery this season that was there before, but I actually... Hey,
maybe it's
what
better
about this?
now.
Maybe it... Well, hey, let's just jump into it. Before I get my feelings out, let's just clear the air. I'm pretty open about not liking the last 2 seasons of Discovery. And what did you think about this new world, this new civilization, this 930 years in the future business? Sean.
I dug it. I dug it big time. I feel like, famously, I did not watch season 1 of Discovery and joined a Discovery recap podcast for season 2. But even then, like, I kind of, it felt like there was nothing to do in that world for them. Which is why, like, Pike and Spock are there, because they're rehashing a world that we've already spent time in.
Yes.
Immediately from the jump, this episode, the world felt so fresh in a way that that Discovery never really felt to me, and like maybe was never built to feel. Like, I don't know that Discovery was ever meant to be fresh. I think it was immediately put into a familiar place.
Yeah.
So
well, they tried to be fresh, and then they in ways that they shouldn't have.
Okay.
And they fucked it up.
Gotcha.
And then you know what? I'm with you though. I feel like this is what the show should have been from the jump.
It's a fun hard reset that everything felt. There's some wonkiness. There's always going to be wonkiness. It's TV.
Sure.
And this was also basically a pilot in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah. So, absolutely.
So yeah, so no, I thought they did a great job. Glenn, what do you
Yeah,
think?
my opinion just slipped out there. I'm sorry, it just slipped out. But
You're the host. You're allowed to put it in wherever.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised that coming out on the record, this was everything.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I have my qualms, but yeah.
So, well, I'll just preface my reaction by saying that I agree with both of you that this episode is exactly the right step that they needed to take. Like, they needed to wipe the slate clean. They needed to get away from the TOS era and all the prequelitis bullshit, and like carve out a section of the Star Trek storyline for themselves. So in that, they succeeded by taking that step at all. As far as the episode itself goes, I liked parts of it, I didn't like other parts of it, and I think my total reaction I could be is like, I didn't hate it, I'm cautiously optimistic about where it goes from here, but there is one element of it that I really kind of still irks me that I think they maybe haven't quite shaken yet. And it is I
was gonna say, if Mr. Status Report here says it wasn't Star Trek enough.
No. That's not it at all. I mean, you know, there was what is Morn? He's a Lorian. There was a Lorian in this episode. Like
yes, there was Morn alien.
The only reason I know this is because I listened to the episode where James or Hugh interviewed Mark Allen Shepard about being Morn, and they mentioned that he is a Lorian in that episode.
That's right, yeah.
And actually, well, I'll tell you after we record, because there was another fact I remember, but I don't want this to go on too long. So the thing that concerns me about Discovery, that I think has been a common through line through all of it, is just the prestige pretense. And this is something that affected Picard too, to be fair, is just this idea that everything has to be just bloated with gravitas. Everything has to be dramatic and super high intensity and just very, very dramatic, as opposed to what I would argue the best Star Trek is melodramatic. And that's obviously that can be a spurious distinction depending on, the person watching, but a lot of parts of this pilot and a lot of parts of Discovery up to this point have felt very like, we're not Star Trek. We're a Game of Thrones. We're a Breaking Bad. We're a, insert prestige drama here. Like, we're the thing you...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please interrupt me.
I mean, I agree, but I think, like, in this episode, this had the most genuine humor bits that I thought.
I thought this was the first episode of Discovery that knew that it was an episode of Star Trek Discovery. Like, I thought this was, they really, like...
Right.
Again, there's a lot of Discovery I haven't seen, but...
All of Discovery's had very heavy Game of Thrones-itis.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, yeah, I won't argue with anything
But I'll say,
but...
I don't know, this one, for me, felt like the least of that. It felt like some of it was... Like, I have my own personal qualms with Sonequa Martin Green's acting, but you know what? The second time I watched it, it's like, you know what? I'm going to give her a pass, because
I thought she played some of those like time travel tropes pretty good. Like there's only so much you can do with like, what is that technology? But like,
I thought she was fun. Like, I just feel like she's such an actor that it really bleeds through. So, and you know what? That's a me problem. I got my own damage for being in theater shit and all that. But I felt like there were actual genuine moments of humor in this and lightness, and they tempered it better than they did.
Yes. And that's the thing, is like, I'm going to waffle back and forth a lot on this because of stuff like that, because there was a lot of really good stuff. Grudge the Cat. Love that, like,
big fan of, yes, he was literally holding a grudge.
Right.
Because she's heavy and she's
what he calls her, she's a queen. Like, they committed to a bit that, like, he really likes his cat. He does not.
It's very on the nose in a way that I like.
Because she's heavy and she's mine.
Yeah.
I kind of groaned a little bit.
That was good.
See, I didn't like Joni loved that though.
I liked it.
So, you know what? That's a me problem. And I was like, oh boy, a little bit, but you know what? That's fine.
What I think to me like brought it, because I mean that prestige TV sheen complaint was mine all of last season. It reeked of it. It was horrid. I think like and it's still there. It's always going to be there. It's obviously like what they want from the show.
Right.
But like, I think like one of the big things that elevated it for me this episode was that, like, she, instead of everybody just telling us that someone's important and none of us, like, never understanding why, like, we are now in a world where she is organically important. Like, she is important now for, like, a reason that makes sense to me. Like, without the Federation, with the Federation, like, such a diminished role that it is, I think without that guy, fucking whatever, that guy at the end, without him, I think it would have been, like, a real nightmare of it. I think it would have fallen really flat for me.
Really?
I think, like, that was really important for sort of, like, tying it all together for me.
I think it was important to really... But he kind of fell flat for me. Like,
that's funny.
You fucking loser.
That hit me. I really, I get, I don't know. That,
he's a nerd.
You got nothing better to do but sit in the station because your daddy was a good man and now I'm doing what my daddy told me to do. And
that's exactly why it fell flat for me. No, because when you saw that guy at the beginning, what I expected when they finally got to him was like, oh, this is something like the end of Back to the Future Part 2 where, where Doc goes back in time and immediately after he disappears, someone shows up because Doc, left a letter with the Postal Service and had them go to that exact time at that exact place to give the letter to Marty. I thought this was going to be something like that where, like, the Federation knew that the USS Discovery, even though it was, like, ultra top secret, disappeared at this time at this place, and they knew that they were going into the future, so they put someone on the job of searching for the Discovery, knowing that they were going to show up at some point, even if they didn't know when, that, like, one department...
That's what you thought it should have been done?
That's what I would have done if I were writing this.
Too clean.
I'm so glad.
Bad.
I'm so glad they did not.
That would have been horrible.
I'm
really?
so glad they didn't do that.
That would have been such cheesy garbage.
I liked what he I'm gonna call that guy a loser for not having to go live his life.
He's
but
for sure
on the
a
space
loser.
Station. But you know what? Like, for the role he played in the show and the episode as the NPC at the hub, he's there for a good reason.
Yeah. Oh, this episode,
if seasons 1 and 2 of Discovery were just straight up ripping off Mass Effect, this one they're like, wait a minute. Let's do something else. Let's do Death Stranding.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that because you would put that on the Discord, and
they're doing the
right.
Foundation. They're doing Isaac Asimov's Foundation, and they're doing Death Stranding, and even from the Hollow shit, like the Hollow. I mean,
it was so Death Stranding. The stuff coming up and going down. It was very Death Stranding.
The burn has a real
whatever the thing in Death Stranding is with
Death
kills
Stranding.
all the whales and the Death Stranding, the burn is that, and the even the planet that she crashes on looks like the game.
Yeah, it does.
It does. And they're just walking. It also looks exactly like the sea monkey set or Kelpie planet.
That's funny.
It's been so long, I can't remember these characters' name. There's Sea Monkey, there's Red, and there's Tignataro. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Rent is in there. You got Rent in there.
Yeah, Rent is there, yeah. But it was clearly, that's where they did the short trek and everything when they go to the Kelpie planet, where Saru's his name.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's the same set in Toronto or wherever in Canada, but you know what? It's fine. They put an extra moon and some planets.
Yeah.
But the set, the mise en scene was all fucking Death Stranding.
Yeah, it was. For sure.
It was.
But you know what? If you're gonna rip off a video game, do some weird Kojima game. Fine, whatever.
And do a game that's about isolation. That's about being alone. That's about connections in a world without connections. That makes sense for this.
And and then if you're gonna get all sci-fi nerd about it, it's also Isaac Asimov's Foundation, where the galaxy has collapsed and there's barbarism, but the Foundation is a light and the darkness on the edges or something. But then here's the Federation.
I do like that she didn't.
Death Stranding.
I do like that she didn't come into a world of people eating each other and complete chaos and like we're back to the Stone Age because the Federation.
Right.
Went. The idea that like the world goes on without the Federation, but like there are things that are bad that are worse now without it is good. Like I liked that.
Right. There's no Endangered Species Act anymore.
That was like such a funny detail. Who's going to enforce the Endangered Species Act?
Well, you know what? Star Trek has been all about saving the whales since 1984.
We don't have to reference that one.
Voyage
Come on, everybody knows Save the Whales.
Yeah,
Come
of course.
on, Sean.
That's I know about Save the Whales.
I know.
That's how you know it's infamous.
Yeah, right? Oh, it's not infamous. It's like the most beloved movie.
It is
that
arguably the best of the TOS movies.
That's crazy. That's wild.
It's just them in 1980 San Francisco.
That's very funny.
It's a fun. It's a lot of people's.
Kurtwood Smith from an episode of Lower Decks is the president of the Federation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of I forget what the aliens are called, but they look like Pai Mei from Kill Bill.
Oh, that's in Voyage. That's in Last Frontier, or Final Frontier.
Oh, am I mixing up? Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right. But one of those aliens is in Voyage Home.
Oh, sorry.
But then in the next movie, Kurtwood Smith is one of those aliens as the president. You're absolutely right.
All right, this is an hour-long show now. We have enough Discovery to talk about.
We're talking about this new Trek, not the old stuff. We're not going to talk about President Joe Camel from Deep Space Nine because you haven't gotten there yet. Sorry.
No, I met him.
I'm sorry. Well, doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's doing Death Stranding too. I feel like, and I feel like
Stranding.
Yeah, Trek Stranding. You could say, I mean,
episode title.
Maybe they didn't realize they're doing it, but come on.
No, it's just like the Mass Effect. They know.
They gotta know, right? I don't know. I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, because it feels like the season's going to be them going traveling, and even Booker Cleveland Booker, this is an episode of Star Trek Discovery. We don't see any of the Discovery or the crew, only Michael Burnham, which is I think a good choice to make for this one episode.
Sure.
But the other character, Book, as they call him, is a courier. It's also very much, like Death Stranding, you mean? Yeah, so.
Is he a porter? You don't say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Is he gonna shit and turn it into a grenade? We'll see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's look, I had a lot of rambling at the beginning of this about waffling in between good and bad, but overall, like this episode did more to right the ship than I was maybe expecting them to do.
Don't feel the need to hold back. Like I'm feeling good about this, which is not our brand at all. So if you hate, you tell me don't hold back.
I know I don't really have anything to complain about. So please
and really,
crazy.
all of my stuff really comes down to just the prestige stuff. I do have one other complaint, which is that.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, right. I don't. Okay.
Which is that the Orion, when she's like drugged up and being interrogated, that guy, I don't know what it was about his makeup, but like he looked like that Mask sequel with Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like his face, it didn't look like a guy who just had green makeup on his face. It looked like he had like some prosthetic work or something.
It is weird. It wasn't the best.
Yeah, I feel like they went out of their way to do extra stuff to make the aliens look, because every time they do a relaunch or something, they have to. The Andorians got a makeover from the TOS, and they got another makeover in Enterprise, and they got another makeover in Discovery for this. And I feel like they did the same thing kind of with with the Orions, and that guy looked especially kind of weird. Like, yeah.
It took me a minute to realize, like, why does this guy look so weird? It's like, he looks like the Jamie Kennedy Mask. Like, it's something is off about his jawline or something. Yeah, and also, this is such a nitpick. But again, this is just, I think I was
here
just...
for.
Huh?
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
Yep. Like, every Orion, including the Mask guy, seem to have really bad ADR for some reason. Like, I won't be surprised if you guys didn't notice this, because this is just, like, again, a weird thing that I, like, tend to notice in stuff like this. But, like, the lines didn't seem to be... It seemed like they, like, did ADR instead of, like, just recording them on set.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I was just watching a TV show. I wasn't doing an episode of How Did This Get Made?
No, sure.
So, no, I didn't notice that.
But just to even it out, like, I loved the storyline with Book and Michael. I think that's a great way to start the season. And I liked the Mega Man phasers or disruptors.
The Mega Man guns were dumb.
They were dumb, but I liked them.
I was like,
they were good.
Like, I laughed every time they came on. Like,
No,
what's
they're
up with the
good.
Mega? I know they want to change the designs, but like they got Mega Man arms, man.
It's cool.
Well,
Fine.
they were
You know
red,
what?
so they were white and red, so they were more like Proto Man. But
They were gun. They were
I know.
arm
I'm
cannons.
joking. I'm
They're
joking. Really, they were like Mega Man X when he has the upgraded X Buster, but whatever. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't see them hold down the button to charge it at any time.
Yeah, right. with the orbs going around him. That would have been amazing if that was how they actually worked.
Taking all their cues from video games, man.
Yeah,
like
right.
the-
Exactly.
I liked the Shockwave matrix of leadership
yeah.
from Transformers. I enjoyed
good.
That was cool.
What was the name of the worm that he was smuggling?
It was his name was Molly.
Molly.
Yes,
That's right.
That I knew, but I thought you meant the species.
It was a trance worm, is what she called
Yes, a transform.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
because he was like, "Don't look at it," and
Right.
and then they
They put them in a trance and then ate them.
I gotta say,
Right.
she's real lucky that she was in that worm for a long time before he got her.
Yeah, she was.
right.
Spit her back.
He said, "Molly, no," as soon as it ate her, and yeah, I guess.
It's a mini Sarlacc. It takes a long time to
Right.
digest.
But yeah, that's the scene where the Morn alien shows
Right?
up.
Yeah.
Which
And some pig aliens or whatever. Those are
Tellarites.
Tellarites, and then another kind of alien that I think is I forgot their name. They show up in DS9 too.
Man, if we had talked a few days earlier, I would have remembered. But I just remember seeing the Tellarites, the Andorians, and the Lorian. But yeah, so they take the worm back home. They meet the loser who is the Federation.
In this sector, and then they have to go and
Right. So
Strand-
that's sort of their excuse to get them to go on an adventure before they meet up with the rest of the crew.
That's their chiral network.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's standard video game. They gotta open up the map.
Yeah, they gotta climb the towers and do their trust fall in
Right.
Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed
yeah.
to see more. Yeah.
Or in every single Ubisoft game released
Yes.
after Assassin's Creed.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so look, we make fun for lifting all these like video game tropes, but like look, those things are in games because they are like an easy way to get a viewer or player invested
Yeah. I mean,
in like
they're fine for video games. They're not You don't have to have them for a narrative.
no,
I
but I'm
don't-
just saying,
yeah.
like
Yeah, I think instead of lifting Mass Effect, that lifting
Yeah.
like things that are a little more like interesting and introspective is a good call. Like I think they're pulling from the right inspiration.
sure.
Yeah.
I will say I've watched a couple of time travel episodes of Deep Space Nine since the last time we talked, and also just with the rest of Star Trek I've seen. It's funny how time travel is treated in this show, knowing that how common and like kind of easy time travel is to come by.
Well,
And-
The temporal wars.
They do their work in this
Yeah.
too, which I appreciated. They point out that the temporal war, like no time travel happened since the temporal wars.
Right.
It's been everything destroyed and outlawed.
Yep.
So there you go. Because I mean, there's all those time travel in the all the series, and the temporal war actually comes up in Enterprise.
Oh.
So that's a thing which they should have done other shit in Enterprise instead of wasting time with the temporal war. But that's all. But hey, they did that, and this is nothing has gone this far future, so they can do whatever they want here. And it's nice that they have the burn or whatever, or the temporal wars doing a cutoff that they.
Well, yeah, which I guess we should mention what the burn is. It's some event that like ignited all the dilithium in the galaxy.
All the dilithium, and so there's here's one little nerd corner thing. They're like, oh my god, dilithium powers all the warp capable ships, is what Burnham says, and she's not wrong. It does power all the warp capable ships for the Federation and most places, but apparently the Romulans don't use dilithium.
Oh.
Oh, maybe that could come into play, but I doubt it.
They might. Yeah, I doubt it too. But even when there's a point where Book is trying to get a ship online, and he goes through all the different ways to travel, and he's like, I can only really use dilithium. It's the only thing that's going to work. I can't do the sails, and he names a number of things.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they do point out that there are different ways of traveling without dilithium, but that's still the main one.
Well, there's like that Deep Space Nine episode with Cisco and Jake like taking the solar sailor from
solar sails, yeah, but that's very slow and yeah.
But it did seem to be at least close to light speed.
Yeah, it did. I mean, solar sails are a real thing. They won't get you to light speed, but yeah. I mean, it traveled at the speed of the plot as was necessary.
Sure.
That DS9 episode. And then, arguably, when the Discovery finally shows up, hey, it's the future. I'm not going to get mad at the fucking Spore network if every other bit of technology is batshit crazy,
right?
Like advanced. So, like, if that's the way they could travel now because they don't have dilithium, you know what? Fine.
Yeah, fine.
In the
It's
future,
fine.
they have the portable transporters.
Yeah.
Which are they did good things with the technology to update it, and Burnham. They're like the little bits of humor I saw, like when Burnham first sees the portable transporter, she's like, "Oh my god, a portable transporter!"
Right.
And Book is like, "You dork!" Yeah, sure, whatever, because it's commonplace. The look he gives her is like, "Oh my god," was funny. It was like a nice little bit of.
When she holds the
me.
phaser to his head, he's like, "Can you take that antique out of my face?" Like there was consistency there.
It seemed to me too, also, that they were trying to get a hold of Burnham's character and give her things to do that she hasn't been able to do.
Yes.
It's all because did you notice they have her having her things, and she has the True Serum drug trip, which was a little bit much for me at times, but she actually got to be funny a little bit. Sometimes it felt like, but that's me. It's like I'm not trying to say she's bad.
No, but she was in season 2 at least. She was just sort of like put on with whatever the person she was talking to needed. She was
and
just
so,
sort of generic.
And they say a few times in this, when she's having like a ayahuasca like realization experience or whatever, and she says a few times, "I'm done being reflexively supportive."
Yeah.
Which they reiterate that a few times, which made me laugh because, like, okay, Michelle Paradise, the new showrunner, she's doing the work. She's trying to, all right, we got to get something with this character because this character was a nothing burger. And it's funny to me, the best that they could come up with, okay, what is Michael Burnham's thing? I don't know. All that they could come up with for 2 seasons was that she's reflexively supportive.
Right.
And to make her go forward with growth that the character needs because it was so flimsy, they're like, all right, I'm done being reflexively supportive.
Yeah.
That's the breakthrough she gets. But then, instead of just emoting so hard all the time, she's for every now and then she has got a couple of times. She's funny though sometimes when she's high and she says, "I saved everything" or whatever. It was a little much for me, but the way she closed that last line was like funny to me. And then
I just realized something that really they could take a lot of cues from Mariner on Lower Decks for Michael's character because there are some similarities there. She's what?
Nothing. I'm just trying. Like, all right, careful.
No.
Watch it.
No. I'm talking specifically about how they're both sort of like Starfleet burnouts. Because Michael starts Discovery by getting, I think she gets court-martialed or something for unintentionally starting Klingon war, and they're both like hyper competent, like super smart. Genuinely believe in the ideals of Starfleet, but have had their difficulties in adhering to the rigid structure of the Federation. And I wonder if maybe they should take some cues from Lower Decks. I'm not saying make the character exactly like Mariner.
She hasn't really had any troubles keeping with the views of the Federation, other than what the plot thrust her in, though, because her whole thing has been, I believe in the Federation, and I'll do, but,
And I guess that's the key difference.
I got more to talk about that.
Is that, like, Michael is, like, very open to, like, I love the Federation and its ideals, and, like, I'll fight for them, whereas Mariner would never say something like that.
Right. Well, Mariner, is a better character to me so far, and that Mariner knows what the Federation is about, trying to help people.
Yeah.
And the problem with Discovery, even in this episode, but Michael Burnham is like, I believe in the Federation, and they never say what the Federation stands for.
And that's
And
and
then
I
they
think
say
that's sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I mean, and then they say in this one, the Federation is a vision. They're like, oh, it's a vision, and I believe in that vision. Is a word is a line that she says, but they never explain what that vision is.
I hated that speech.
They're just like, okay, we all know as Star Trek people that vision is good, and so we all accept it. Fine, but through the whole series of Discovery, they've never been able to say what the vision of the Federation is, other than anti-platitudes.
And I think that's what it comes down to, is they just need to better define Michael's actual point of view, because so far they've fallen back on the stuff that they know your average Trek viewer is going to know and love. That, like, yes, of course we love the Federation because it's the thing in Star Trek and yada yada. But on Lower Decks, they were very good about having her say, like, oh, the Federation's about helping people, and here's what the Federation's bad at. And, like, there was... they did a good job of quickly defining her point of view, and that's what... even if the point of view is different, of course, that's what they need to do with Michael, is they need to establish right off the bat, like, what is her outlook? What is her point of view beyond, like, the platitudes? Because that's something that makes, like, all the classic Star Trek captains so great. Picard, Kirk, Sisko, presumably Archer and Janeway, is that, they have very clear philosophies that are well defined and in most cases quickly defined. And I think they missed that window with Michael somehow to start off.
All right, you guys are big dorks. I've been quiet for too long. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
She needs her personality more defined. We don't have to define the Federation. We know what the fucking Federation is. And the Federation is just now something that doesn't exist. That's
right.
All. And the Federation exists only in ideals. So...
Right, but she says it's a vision, and then they don't. But we know
because
that
the vision. We know the vision. It
enforces the Endangered Species Act. I get it, but like
we need the 8 millionth Star Trek show to tell us about the Federation. We don't need it. Lower Decks is talking about the Federation because it is a direct. It can take more liberties with Star Trek, and it's in a good position to call it the Federation. This season of Discovery is a fucking blowjob fest for the Federation. They don't need to. We know what it is. We know what the Federation is. You guys are dumb. Listen, I have a theory. I know exactly where this is going. I'm about to blow your mind.
Tell me what the Federation is again, Sean.
What?
What's the Federation again?
I don't know what the Federation is. I'll fucking watch
there you go. There you go.
It's
That's
just me. You guys know what it is. Listen to my theory. You guys you're gonna feel so stupid that you didn't think of this. The burn, right? The burn.
Yeah, she did that.
Michael Burnham.
Oh, fuck you.
Burnham.
Fuck.
She burned him. She did it. I do think she did. I do. I think.
I did think, like, at the beginning it was like she sends the Red Angel suit off
and back. Yep, and it self-destructs.
It self-destructs, and I'm like, you know what? Clean break. That shit was all done. Let's just leave it behind us. But burn.
That's the burn. It happens before she meets any people. In that moment, she impacted the entirety of the world she was already in.
Well, Sean, if I may add something onto your theory.
May not.
No,
moving on.
She did not. Wait, no, Sean. She didn't. She did meet people before then because she ran into a ship and crashed them.
Yes, but the name is spelled Burnham, Burnham. So is the actual plot line.
What are you doing here?
What the fuck? This is a me thing. Why are you doing a me thing? Why are you making a dumb Sean joke?
Someone has to.
You gotta talk over us when we're interrupting you. What is the dumb joke you're gonna make?
I mean,
well, someone puts a ham in the oven, forgets about it.
Oh God!
Sets off a chain reaction.
No.
All dilithium in the
You wanted to go back for that, Wade. Thanks.
Oh.
I apologize for nothing.
I liked it. I think it's good. Burn that ham.
Hashtag burn that ham.
Oh, fuck. Burnham definitely is responsible for the
Yes,
burn.
I agree. I think that's a
10%,
valid-
and I don't like it, and I'm gonna be mad when I'm right.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be mad when you're right too. I hope
Yeah.
you're wrong, but
I hate it.
Well, we'll
you're
find out.
probably right.
It's dumb
Anyway,
and bad.
It's like, I mean, we made predictions. I made predictions for season 1 of Discovery. They all turned out to be true.
Yep.
that's true. You did. I did listen. See, I listened to Discovery Home Companion.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He has another.
I'm not gonna talk about that.
Well, perfect segue.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you have any predictions for this season?
Oh,
other than Sean's correct one.
My prediction is that at some point they are going to run into. I have two. They're going to run into her mom at some point. What's the Terralesium or whatever? They'll come across that planet at some point in some dramatic fashion, and then something's going to happen to Giorgio, where she's sent back in time, separate from the rest of them,
So that they can do the Section 31
exactly.
show.
Those are my two predictions.
Those both make sense to me.
Yeah. I figured they'd send her back too. I was like, oh, maybe they just keep her and she can start Section 31 in this new Federation.
No, they'll send her back.
Yeah, probably. It depends. Honestly, it depends on whether the fans like this or not.
Yeah.
And they'll just do whatever. Oh, what? Fans hate this? Okay, we'll go back to the old thing.
I think it's a way for them to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, my other prediction is that there's going to be a status report. Woo!
Ooh, okay.
So I've watched a shitload of Deep Space Nine in the last 2 weeks. I am almost halfway through season 5. I have since passed the halfway point for Star Trek. So I've watched 57% and change of all Star Trek that's ever been made. And as for Deep Space Nine itself, I'm well into the conflict with the Dominion. It is a very good show. I saw the Secret Agent holodeck episode that I think, Wade, you derided at one point.
Well, I have a whole podcast where you can see what I
And
actually
that's
think
the
about
other
it.
thing I'm going to say is I'm listening to so much goddamn ROA.
I know. Well, I'd say I'm sorry, but I'm not. Aren't you loving it?
Wait, here's the thing. There's a Jerry Seinfeld joke about when...
Oh, a Jerry Seinfeld as opposed to that other Seinfeld.
Yeah, as opposed to Mort Seinfeld. But there's a Seinfeld joke, not from the sitcom, from a stand-up, where he talks about when you have a thing of milk that's about to expire. The expiration date is coming up. And you get so desperate you are using milk, too much milk in your cereal, you're drinking milk, you're brushing your teeth with milk, you're doing this, and like the joke being that like you just get to a point where just everything, you're doing everything you can to cross that off your to-do list. And that's how I feel about ROA. I feel like I've got an expiration date because someone keeps reminding me about this goddamn podcast, and so
That's right, you do. I care much more about that expiration date than how fast you're watching DS9. I didn't make that show. I did the podcast about it.
No, you didn't.
Boy, what if you did, huh?
Yeah,
And
right.
here's the thing. There are like, I believe, I might be wrong about the final number, but I think as of now, there are 250 or so episodes of ROA, including like bonus eps and everything, and I think including like the remixes y'all have been doing. And I'm at episode 30.
Okay.
And I feel like I've been, when I go for my walks during the day.
We're not there to just be a light, fluffy thing. We're gonna make you think.
Look, I have no criticisms for the show itself. You guys are great. You do a great Star Trek podcast. It's very enjoyable. I'm just saying the pressure and the volume.
All right, I'm not here to bitch and moan about podcasts.
Good. I am.
Wade, what if we started doing like original Star Trek podcasts? Like a Star Trek series as a podcast.
You mean like do like original content?
Exactly.
So,
Will CBS pay you for that?
No, there's a whole. They had to pass a whole. Fanfic is nothing new to Star Trek,
right?
And so they passed a whole lot of bunch of new rules about fan films and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Probably pertains to.
That's something that's been very interesting to me, is that there are a lot of fan films that have like actual actors from Star Trek in them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, some of those bonus pods we did were about the shenanigans going on with I forgot the name of the Yeah, it doesn't matter. There was one fan film that was a big shit show with legal. So,
Interesting.
I mean, that makes sense.
well, because they were profiting off of it and using all the other actors and stuff.
Sure. Well, anyway, back to status report for a moment before ending it. Deep Space Nine, great show. Love the Dominion storyline. Odo, man, what a character.
Odo's great, and season 5 is good stuff.
Yeah, Odo post de-changelinging or whatever they do to him.
Yeah.
But there's the episode with him and Laxwana where she's pregnant and he has to marry her so that the guy that plays her husband in that episode is a notable character actor, and I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that voiced Mr. Freeze on Batman the Animated Series.
Yep, we talked about that on the ROA.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I look forward to hearing about it. He has. I hadn't seen any movies that he had actually done, but the second he spoke, I was like, I know that voice. Like, it's so distinctive. But that's such a great episode because it really is such a great exploration of like what Odo is going through and developing the relationship between him and Laxwana and kind of maturing it beyond the whole Pepe Le Pew dynamic that she had with him and with Picard before. Like, it was just a really great episode.
That's not the one where they get stuck in the elevator, is it?
No. That's I think the first episode they have.
That's like the second. Yeah,
that one's relatively early on.
I forgot about the married one. I don't think I like the stuck in the elevator one a lot.
That one's good too, because that's the one where like he like loses his form and she's like, you can be like comfortable around me, and like the story with him and Laxwana is really, really good on Deep Space Nine.
I forgot. Yeah.
But there's another episode I wanted to talk about, and I swear I'll end status report right after that I watched, and that was The Visitor. Holy shit!
Yeah, Visitor's great.
I wept. Like, it shattered me. Like, amazing. Just an amazing episode. Tony Todd, Star Trek MVP. He's played 40 goddamn roles on this franchise, and he's so fucking good in this episode.
Yep. I mean, I don't have anything to add to that.
Exactly. Well, nothing more to say.
Chris Farley showed that one. It was pretty great, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Man, holy shit. I could talk. It's like the Inner Light. It's Deep Space Nine's Inner Light as far as I'm concerned, so far at least.
Okay.
Just something that just really, it stays with you. And like, and that's the kind of thing I think about when I criticize Discovery for, trying to do the prestige thing where like, Deep Space Nine accomplished so much more without that kind of pretense. It told just a very simple story about a guy who missed who missed Cisco, and oh my god, it just. I'll stop talking. I'll end status report, but holy shit, that episode was just out of this world.
I'm not gonna fight you. The Visitor's pretty great.
Oh, and the other one is our man Bashir. Fucking loved it. I will brook no criticism of it.
Oh, that's the Bond one?
Yep.
Yeah, well.
It's fun!
I'm just waiting till you get to the episode of the ROA where we talk about that one.
I look forward to it. But yeah, Deep Space Nine is great. I might be done with it by the end of next week at this rate.
Okay.
Worf,
I'm not right. Again, I don't care when you finish, Glenn. You don't have to do this to be a real fan. You take your time. You don't have to watch it all of Star Trek.
Savor
you have to
it.
watch all of DS9.
Stop and smell the roses.
I am savoring it.
Are you watching this? Are you watching the shows at 2 times speed? Are you doing that, Glenn? Is that what you're
no.
doing?
Which do you know that's an option on Netflix?
I saw that they're working on it. Yeah.
You can do it now. It's crazy. I tried it for 2 seconds just out of morbid curiosity, and like
it's a horrible idea. I mean, it's
the death of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, I get it for audio, for video stuff.
No,
absolutely
it's bad
not.
for audio. It's the death of entertainment. Shut the fuck up and wee woo.
Okay, wee woo. Fuck you.
Wee woo.
Fuck you.
That was very good.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, so Deep Space Nine's great. Great show. Love it.
Yeah, you're still on good stuff too.
Sorry. P.S. Another episode I really, really, really loved is the episode where Quark and Rom and Nog go back in time to Roswell.
Oh man, you love those shenanigans episode.
I love
shenanigans so much.
Wade.
We hated that so much.
Wade, I love shenanigans. I love the shenanigan episodes.
I know you do.
I love an episode where you take the established formula and you throw it out the fucking window and you put your characters into different situations to see what they do.
So the big-eared stereotype aliens can do some yucks. I like some of that. I like some of the shenanigans episodes.
I liked a lot of the logistics because, like, just hearing Ferengi in its like native form.
Sure. Yeah, that's fun too.
And just like the whole, I loved it.
Okay.
Wee woo, I'm done.
All right. No, I loved it. You loved it. Anyway, and we liked this shit.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
With some reservations, yes.
I mean, I watched it the second time and I liked it more than the first because I had my guard. Like I said, my problems with the acting of the lead are mostly my issues. And she had some good moments and she was funny, and sometimes it was a little over the top for me, but she was good. So, hey. I mean, it's really hard for me to say, as you can hear me hemming and hawing. And I don't know what to do with a podcast about Star Trek Discovery where I like it. So.
We're gonna hate next episode. Don't worry.
I know. Oh yeah, but
They'll ruin it.
Goes to show they have plenty of room. I think it's Michelle Paradise coming on as the showrunner.
Yeah.
Because Sidney Lumet, I mean not Sidney Lumet, but Jenny Lumet, who Sidney Lumet's like granddaughter or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, she wrote one of those short treks I hated the most. And so I'm not a big fan of Jenny Lumet. She's probably a nice person, but
which short trek was it?
The one that introduced the princess alien.
Oh, right. Oh, that was bad.
Yeah. And that was all her. But you know what? I think Michelle Paradise is a good showrunner. Hopefully,
so far,
she
good.
seems to be concentrating on character a little bit, maybe.
Yep.
Brian Fuller is not an executive producer anymore. He's an executive consultant, which probably just is a change in title, so they don't have to pay him anymore. Or it could mean they are using some of his story ideas. He's still not involved.
Right.
But they could have, yeah.
So my battery's about to run out, so I just want to plug an imaginary podcast before we go. So Sean and I have decided that we are going to host a podcast about the mid 2010s procedural Fringe, and we're going to call it Fringe Benefits.
Fringe Benefits, love it.
Okay.
It's very good.
We might actually do that. I'm serious.
I think we should.
I think we
Fringe
should
is
too.
a good show. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, Fringe was good. I don't know that there's any clamoring for somebody to talk about it, but
if anyone can find it, we can.
We can. I'm always down to talk about it. I'll plug my podcast, Brian Fuller House. It's a reimagining of Fuller House, the reboot of Full House, if produced by Brian Singer. Brian Fuller, fuck!
I was about to say wrong Brian, wrong Brian.
Real
Brian
different.
Singer.
If Brian Singer
Too many
did
kids for that. Too many kids, man.
Yep,
You can't do that.
Can't. Fuck. Ooh. So where my brain went. Anyway, Brian Fuller
I heard
House.
Brian Fuller was on that, but then he got canned.
Tune into Brian Fuller House coming this holiday season.
Yeah, from the creators of House of Cosby. So that's why it's not coming up.
Jesus Christ.
Man, I love House of Cosby's. Can I just plug House of Cosby's?
I'm sure people can find it somewhere.
It's definitely somewhere. You might have to dig deep, but it's out there and it's great.
Not featuring the actual Bill Cosby, so you can watch it.
Yeah, no.
It's
You're safe. Bill Cosby hates that it exists and is the reason it's hard to find.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Is that the only imaginary podcast you have to plug?
It's coming, man. It's coming. Right. I can't even talk about it anymore.
Folsom Prison Tunes.
I'm recording an episode tomorrow night. I don't know why.
Okay.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll drop 10 episodes at once in a month.
That's,
Glenn Beta.
Sean Beta.
Wade Beta.
Self-destruct activated.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Yep.